All right. So, like I said, after we watched the medieval castles here, the documentary, I like you to work with your own kingdom. So, we all know what our kingdoms are, right? The columns here. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So, you click right here, guys. Please follow along. Medieval Castle Design Project, Family Crest. And then you'll see the attachment here. It's a Google Doc. Click right here on the file, and it will bring up. Oh, get this here. There you go. This right here. So, real quick, what I'm looking for. So here's just a brief description of what the use of castles were, the medieval manor. We just talked about the manor quite a bit. Yesterday we reviewed it, and the day before. And now I just want you to create your own castle within your own medieval manor. So everybody here in your kingdom should have a role in creating this project. If you guys want to do it on a Google Doc, and then you guys can all work on it, really at the same time or at different times throughout the day or within class, which I'll give you time in class to work on this. But tomorrow I want to move on with some notes. So after we finish notes tomorrow, please work on this assignment. Okay, I'll have this due next week when we return from our longer break here. But real quick, who would like to read that first paragraph for me? Someone. Chris, go ahead.
Castles were the most important part of the medieval manor for several factors that went into building them. Factors that affected the importance of the man of the castle and the strength of the farm. Surrounding this, the number of people were quality. But even with all these variations, there was one thing that all castles were at the time. They were all designed with life or death. Castle was a place of maximum safety. They all offer.
All right, good job, good job. So, what I would like you to do is just create a castle that is in a design that is able to defend yourself, defend your kingdom from many of these groups that we talked about, like the barbarians. We talked a little bit about the Vandals, right? We mentioned a little bit about these other groups that were trying to destroy many of these medieval kingdoms in Western Europe. And that brought on feudalism, which we talked about, right? And how the feudalism helped to seek for these people protection. All right, so continuing on here. Caroline, you want to read the next two paragraphs here, next two?
It had to withstand enormous opposition and attacks from land and other countries. Centuries of warfare. Over the course of the next few travel in time to Europe during your task is to become an expert in castle-like design. In order to build a blueprint for Lord Bowley's castle located in the year. Use the following tips to keep yourself on task to meet the Lord's future.
All right, good job. So the schedule, we're going to veer away a little bit from this. We already watched the documentary of these castles, so you should have a good insight and knowledge of the way they were created and some different specific designs of it. All right, so step one, we already watched it here. So step two, the castle specifications. So obviously, you need some sort of wall to protect your castle, your manor, right, from these outside invaders. You need watchtowers where you'll protect your castle, okay, obviously your manor that is surrounding. Right? A gatehouse, right? You need a front entrance. And with that gatehouse, remember the defenses that were in place in many of these castles during the medieval time. Okay, there's a lot of archer windows established within the gatehouse. I think there is even a trap door where they dropped a huge boulder from the top if many of these invaders came through this gate. So in many cases, yeah, you think, oh, this is the gate is the best way to enter these castles. Maybe not, right? Maybe not. And that's one thing to know. All right, and then you can talk a little bit more about the inside, the workings of the manor. So you can have someone within your group work on maybe some of these locations where the craftsmen are working, right? Maybe where the peasants are utilizing the farmland surrounding the castle for the advantage, okay, of the kingdom for growing food, helping with supplies. And also think about the dungeon, think about the armory, right, where a lot of these weapons are going to be placed and utilized within this medieval manor in the castle. Right, obviously the dungeon, it's going to be in the very bottom of your castle underneath your medieval manor. And a lot of times they don't have light, right? They don't have light at all. So take note of that. Okay, obviously we know the role of the dungeon when it comes to prisoners, political prisoners, and even think of some of the torture devices, right? So if someone's making the floor plan here, think of some of the torture devices that you can maybe place within this manor, within the dungeon. All right, and then like I mentioned over here, with already the food storage, the blacksmith, the craftsmen that are focused with inside the manor, and not necessarily with inside the castle, but on the outside. Think about entertainment. Okay, that documentary talked quite a bit about the entertainment and how these people gathered together once the king was visiting said Lord Castles, right? And what type of entertainment was belonging there. What else here? So the royalty quarters, at the very peak of these castles, you have the Lord, the King, right? They're going to be living at the very top. So I mentioned a little bit about the living space of these areas, a big fireplace to help fuel and help heat the living space. And they even had an outlook overlooking the whole kingdom, right? Overlooking the whole manor. So take note of that. Think of that. All right, castle research. All right. Yeah, we watched that documentary. It's important. It obviously talked a little bit about a lot of the information here, detailing the inside of the castles and the medieval manors. But you might have to do a little bit more, right? Research some of these castles, look at how they're designed. Maybe there's some ways or some of these ideas that you can place within your own castle when it comes to fortifications and defenses. All right. So castle layout and design. You don't have to worry too much about measuring things out. Okay, don't worry about getting a ruler out in inches, let's say 10 feet. Okay, just try to draw a castle, try to, obviously depict a castle however way you want. I know there's many different apps you can use to create your floor plans, to create your castles, but, the outsides of it and anything. But make sure you guys are working together. Talk with your group, talk with your kingdom in creating the best medieval manor. All right. Then finally, the family crest. All right. So, who would like to read that paragraph for me of the family crest? Someone. Oh, I don't know about that, but Chris is saying that you have to read it anyway. Why? Go ahead.
Jordan's speak the coat of arms design on the shield of the people. The design is unique to sometimes rates to the coat of arms. Other times, it's allowed to pass it down is the sentence and the family coat of arms. As modern owned some nations and even corporations adopt their own coats of arms. The symbols on a coat of arms are meant to represent the achievements of the person, state, or corporation that will for which they are.
Yeah, finish it off.
Your task is to create your own family crest / coat of arms that symbolically represents the values of yourself. You may research family crest online, not copy another crest. The crest must be your own.
All right, good job. So, if you're a knight, you have to look up some of these crests and come up with a cool design. I found one here for my name here. And as you can see, bowman, yeah, you're going to have some archers, right? You're going to have some bow and arrows. But that looks pretty wild. That looks cool. And that's kind of what I'm looking for this family crest. So your knights, right, they're going to be creating this family crest and also helping with some of the floor plans. So your goal, if you're a king, if you're a lord, you're going to have to direct to the rest of your kingdom what type of jobs that they have. So remember, everybody has a role. Not, the kings just can't sit back and say, "Oh, I'll do all the work." Right? You guys have to help with designing your castle, the floor plans, and creating your manor. All right? Yeah? So maybe you guys ever hear jousting before? What's jousting? What is that?
Horses and long wooden poles.
Paul, what is it, buddy?
Parker said they got
What did he-
long poles and they're on horses and I guess they kind of knock each other off.
Yeah, okay, good. You guys ever see the movie A Knight's Tale?
Yes.
Oh, it's a great movie. Great movie. It's with Heath Ledger, R.I.P., right? The Joker. But with jousting, they have pretty much a fence that lines the middle of the field. And these two, I guess you could say knights, are on horseback and they have a long pole that they're just riding and throwing the pole right into the other knight, trying to knock him off his horse. Pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild stuff. And I'll show a video of it maybe tomorrow, but maybe you want to put that within your manor. Say, obviously have some form of entertainment. Then you have night fights, right? Night fights, I guess. You know, you can bring in these knights and they're fighting each other in the manor. So, hey, keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. I'll play music for you guys. I don't know about today because we're running low on time. Listen. So Friday, I will give you a little bit of time to work on this in class. When we return, I'll give you a little bit, but I don't know about the whole period. Tomorrow, I want to move on with the notes. So once we finish notes, please use your time wisely and work on this project. It's worth, what, 75 points here. So a lot of you maybe skipped out on the writing assignment or didn't do it or turned it in late. So this is a great way to boost your grade up. But you have to do work. You have to all work together here. If you want to make a presentation like a Google Slides and then each person is showing their work, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. And then you can see exactly who's doing the work within the group. And that's easier for me too. All right. Is there any questions on this assignment? Alana, go ahead.
So like if we did a Google slide, like if we are like
Yeah.
like and made it all one slide,
That'd be perfect. Yeah. So if you have the designs of the outside fortification. So if you want to draw out the castle, what it looks like from the outside, showing the gatehouse, showing the fortification, showing the towers, awesome. Then the next person, their floor plan, maybe it's the living space of the king, of the knight, right? Or whatever might be the lord. And then you're moving down to the outside, the entertainment. Okay. Maybe the blacksmiths, where they're focused within the manor. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yep. What?
Can we do it on pencil paper?
You can, and then you just take a picture and put it on the slide. Yep, if that's what you want to do. I don't know if there's apps that you can use to draw, but you can do that too. All righty, you guys know what we're doing. All right, you got a couple minutes, talk it over with your kingdom and decide how you're going to design your medieval manor. I'm going to have this due, listen up. I'm going to have this due next, I think, Friday, right? So Friday, we can see our manors, we can look at our medieval manors, and I think that's a good time period for you. All right.
Is that Friday this week?
No, next week, sorry. Next Friday, guys, not this Friday, next Friday.